it's serious. We're getting closer. This isn't over.
I love this song.
Shakira is my dream girl, honestly.
Shakira is the best. Okay.
I can shimmy. I don't think it's appropriate for your viewers, though.
I don't think so. Hi, everyone. My name is Dr. Trish Rampersad. I'm the Core-Behavioral.Therapist. And I have today with me another treat, Shane Martin. He's my friend, and he is a very passionate negotiator, speaker, and a suicide hotline volunteer. He helps people learn to negotiate better, gain more self-confidence, and basically become more fulfilled. He actually also helps save lives by negotiating with people who want to actually go through with the suicidal process. Shane recently had COVID and is going to share his experience with us today, and how to stay mentally positive through it. Thanks for coming, Shane.
Yes, absolutely, Trish. It's a pleasure to be here. Looking forward to the conversation and helping those who are listening.
I'm so excited to have you, and I know that you'll be a big help. So thank you again. So Shane recently had COVID. Shane, can you tell us what the symptoms were like for you?
Yeah. Almost death. I'm laughing because it was incredibly painful. So I'll start off by saying COVID is not a hoax. It's very real, and it affects everyone differently, whether you have it or you're living with someone who has it. The symptoms for me were your basic flu symptoms like fever, headache, coughing. The toughest one for me was difficulty breathing. And I know some people lose taste, which would be awful, especially because I love Panda Express orange chicken. So if I would have lost taste, then we would have had some real issues. But COVID symptoms are very real, and I've thankfully tested negative since. But yeah, very real.
I'm so thankful that you don't have it anymore. How long? Well, also you didn't. So I also heard there's a loss of smell as well, but I'm not sure. Did you have that too, or?
There is a loss of smell depending on kind of what you get, but I didn't lose my smell. I mean, my bedroom smells great, so very thankful for that. Clean linen, ocean breeze.
Awesome. And I want to say to everyone, we laugh a lot, and this is not a laughing matter. So if we do giggle, please forgive us. But this is a serious matter, though. So Shane, Shane, there's people who don't believe that COVID even exists, as you know. How long did you have it for?
My symptoms were about 7 to 8 days. And I think that according to the nurse I saw, that was like kind of the average. So people can go longer, people can go shorter. It just depends, which makes it so weird. It makes it's so strange. And to what you said, you're right. COVID is not something to laugh about or joke about. It's just like, that's kind of my approach to life. So if someone's offended that I'm laughing, sorry to them. I honestly don't feel bad, but
same for me too.
Yeah, but again, it is very real. My mom and sister are both on the front lines and take it very seriously. Have my mask right here. So
awesome. Well, shout out to your mom and sister and to all the frontliners, nurses, doctors, medical staff, personnel. Yep. We love you. People who are working at the groceries, getting us food, all that stuff. Thank you, frontliners. We appreciate you. Do you remember how you got it?
No idea.
No idea.
I'm not sure how I got it. And I think a lot of people don't know how they got it. I can make like up a bunch of different things of places where I was, but the thing is, like, I have no idea. So the thing that I struggled with is, like, it's kind of a bummer not knowing kind of where you got it. And there were days too, like being isolated for 14 days or so, like it was tough. I got to be honest. Like, it was mentally, I had some like dark moments where I was just like, oh, like I want to be with people,
Yeah. Can we talk about the mental toll it took on you? Because this is a mental health podcast, and even with isolation, people who don't have COVID, like myself, you know, we're going to be in quarantine again, locked down in certain places. What did you go through mentally during this process?
What I went through mentally was like really three main things. First, I realized how important my support system is, like having family, having friends around. The amount of messages were so nice. People at work, my work was so kind and thoughtful in approaching it. So like that really gave me energy. It made me like kind of push through the tough times. Which the second thing was, it was the tough times. It was kind of just like being locked in a room. It kind of feels like prison. It was like being in a prison in a way. Obviously, I had Netflix though, so it was a little it was a little different.
What did you watch on Netflix during
But
this?
so many things on Netflix. There's the show Gamut, the chess.
I heard about that. Is it good?
Oh my gosh!
It's on my watch list. I heard about
So I watched that before COVID and after, and it is so good. I highly recommend. I mean, it's like it's breaking records
it. Okay.
on the Netflix chart. But the third thing was like as far as mental health, I just kept reminding myself like, hey, this is coming to an end. Like it's only 4 more days before I
So
can leave.
good. I mean, speaking positively over yourself and just speaking it out into life that this is going to end or this is ending, it's giving hope.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, in a way, you're kind of affirming that it's coming to an end. And people will say that's cheesy or it doesn't work, but then I would ask them, tell yourself something that you're aiming for, something that you're shooting for. Tell yourself that you're going to do it for a year straight. Speak it out loud and see what happens.
Oh, okay, say that again. What did you say out, what did you say out loud
Okay.
again? That this is going to end or this is ending soon?
Yeah, so I would like a lot of times people write down goals, like we write down goals, but we don't necessarily speak them. I'm just as guilty of this.
Mhm.
And so in 2021, what I'm going to strive to do is write out a few of my goals and then speak them out loud to either a friend at lunch or just speak them out loud to someone who you feel comfortable with consistently. Doesn't have to be every day. I mean, that would be great, but we're human. We forget, right? Forget things all the time. So I think there's a lot of power just speaking what you want.
I think that's so awesome. And even during COVID that you did that. Okay, so like some people, I mean, I thought about it when you told me this. I'm like, you're young, you're healthy, and you got COVID. Like it has no discrimination or something. Everyone is prone to it, it seems.
Yeah, it's true.
Now, your family, how did they cope with it?
It was pretty stressful. So when someone in your family gets COVID, things kind of change. Like it was kind of odd. I remember joking with my sister about just how basically like my dad or mom like would approach me, but they would like stay far away. It's just so weird. Like, you're used to
Oh, I'm gonna
hugging,
hug you, Shay. Oh no, I can't.
like it was almost like
I'm
it was
sorry
almost
for laughing. We have
it reminds me of
our coping mechanism.
yeah,
Laughing.
it kind of reminded me of high school where like you're like best friends with someone one day and like the next day like they hear that you like a rumor or something that you probably didn't even say and then they're like, I'm not even gonna talk to this person. I'm just gonna ignore them or like stay away. That's what it felt like. It was weird.
Oh, goodness.
Yeah.
You know, I have some friends who have COVID too, and my auntie and my uncle, they have COVID. They just told us. So it's a very real thing. Now, after COVID, right? What has it done for you mentally?
Well, I think there's an element of appreciation, like appreciating the ability to go drive somewhere, or I just got a motorcycle, so ride a motorcycle somewhere. Like these are little things that we take for granted. I heard on the radio recently, there's a very popular football player named Larry Fitzgerald who plays for the Arizona Cardinals, where I'm currently at in Arizona, and he had COVID really bad, and because his symptoms were so bad, he ended up getting his will in place, his estate fixed. Like it's very real, so it can be scary, and it puts again, it gives like a lot. I think it gave him a lot of perspective. It gave me a lot of perspective too, just to appreciate sort of the little things, like being able to go outside. My gosh.
Yeah, just being able to go outside for a walk. Also,
Yeah.
also life is short too. I mean, you never know what's gonna happen, right? Did you have any illnesses, asthma, anything before COVID that made you more susceptible to get it, even probably have maybe even have the symptoms show up even worse on you, or no?
Yeah, so when you're talking to a medical professional, they'll and they're when they're testing you, depends on the person,
Yeah.
but they'll basically ask like, do you have any pre-existing conditions? And I said no each time, but everyone's a little bit different. And I've heard and read stories where people who didn't think they had pre-existing conditions actually did, and then they got like it was really COVID was really tough mentally and physically.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. So then people, that's so interesting. So people will find out if they did have something after COVID once, wow, once seeing the doctor. What else did your doctors or nurses say to you when they were treating you?
When they were treating me, is basically like you have to rest, turn off the electronics, hydrate. Even if your throat is really sore, my throat was like, it felt like it was closed up because it was so swollen. But I just tried to force myself to drink fluids. So that just really, it's like a stronger version of the flu. So it's basically like that, yeah.
Well, I could tell when I saw you, and I could tell with other people too. When I see them, and if their face looks way tinier or more slender, it's as if I could tell. I was like, oh my gosh, did they have COVID? Were they just sick? And it happened with, when you told me you had COVID. Did you notice those bodily changes in your feet, in your face and stuff, loss of weight, anything like that? Or
Well,
no?
I think my face is pretty ugly either way. I mean, my bone structure is a little off. Like my left cheek is a little higher than my right, but God designed me that way, I guess. Uh, like as far as my face, I know, but I noticed like after a few days, like you start recognizing like your muscles get smaller, your legs are like getting skinnier. It's like, oh, okay, all right, this is
You?
kind of nice. Like right in time for summer, except it's December. So.
Wow. So, I mean, that's kind of funny, but you really did see changes. Wow.
Oh yeah, for sure. For sure. I think people who have COVID bad are like when you have COVID pretty rough, your body will like it's trying to basically survive, right? So,
Yeah,
and if you're not exercising while you have COVID, which obviously you don't feel like doing, then yeah, your body's going to change a little bit.
that's right. Because exercising, it also helps with your mental health.
Oh my gosh. I don't yeah, exercising is so important. And exercising doesn't have to be like go run 50 miles in the morning. Like no, that's crazy.
Go do a triathlon. No.
Yeah, exercising, honestly, like I'm looking forward to the days too, like where like I'm old and like God willing, and like just walking, going for a walk or a slight jog, like, or if you're like me, um, rollerblades, backwards, forwards, sideways.
You are a great rollerblader. I've seen that. Yeah,
Thank you, Trish.
you're welcome. I like walk. I'll
I
do the
love
walk.
rollerblading. People think I'm so weird, but I like it a lot.
Like it a lot. Okay, that's good. I mean, you picked up a hobby. Um, so, but yeah, exercise is so important. And I would imagine that, did you feel symptoms of depression more so while you had COVID because you couldn't exercise?
Well, I think it was tough not exercising, yes. Was I full on depressed? No, I was more kind of just sort of bored. I was trying to stay busy
Mhm.
by like I recommend everyone if you have COVID and you're listening to do the most you can to like stay busy, like either read or write or do something that you normally don't have time for
Yeah.
And this period is a perfect time for that if you're feeling up for it and like the doctors have said it's okay.
Okay, cool. Thank you for that. Do you think that, I don't know too much about this, but do you think that COVID could happen a second time to you?
They say that if the antibodies are gone, it can come back and you can get it again. I've heard from the hospital where my family works that there have been people that have come back and tested positive twice for COVID at like at different times of the
Right,
year.
right.
So fingers crossed, knock on wood, that won't happen. But I think that it's certainly possible.
Yeah. Yeah. What do you think about this? How do you feel? And what do you think about the vaccine that's out?
Let's get controversial.
Please, let's go. Let's go. Go there.
Okay, so vaccine.
You're someone who already had it. You experienced it. I mean, everyone, when I saw Shane, I knew like he had COVID or something was up with him. I could see it. So
Yeah, he just looks super extra crazy this morning.
I didn't mean it in a bad way.
Uh,
So like he looked different. He just looked different. I was like, oh, I was concerned. I was like, what's going on with Shane? So yeah, what do you think about Pfizer and Moderna? There's controversy. There's some people that are like, I'm not taking that. I need more people to take it, so I know that it's okay. But then some people like myself, I'm like, I'm okay being a guinea pig. I'll take it. I don't mind, you know. So what do you? You're someone who had it, who had COVID. What are your thoughts and feelings about that?
my thoughts or feelings are to approach it from a mental health standpoint. So
I
if
love
you want
that.
to,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, if you want to get the if you feel more at peace by getting the vaccine, then I recommend doing it if that's what you want. If you feel like, wow, this vaccine was rushed and there could be some question marks around it, then maybe wait a little bit until people adjust to it. I think that it's best for people on the front lines to get it first. Obviously, that's common sense, right?
Yeah.
But would I get the vaccine? I probably won't get it until, I mean, they're even saying till late next year for some people who aren't on the front lines and people who are below certain age and don't have pre-existing conditions. So I don't envision getting it.
Oh, okay. You don't envision yourself getting the vaccine?
At least not for a while, no.
Well, when the time comes, would you take it?
I have to think about it.
Okay. Wow. Okay. So Shane had COVID and he's thinking he may not get the vaccine. So interesting. I know I'm second
Maybe
on
not.
or maybe, yeah, maybe yeah. So I'm second on the list because of being an educator. So we have yeah,
True.
gonna be getting it. Me and my family. That's so interesting.
Do I think that the like government should require everyone to get it? I don't think that that will ever happen. I don't think that that should happen. But we should still wear masks. Like we should still take care of ourselves, take care of our neighbors. But I think it just like want to see it kind of play out before I go like sign up and get in line for the vaccine.
That's smart. That's smart. I respect that. There's a lot of people that think like that. But I really appreciated you saying look at it from a mental health perspective as well. There's so many people I mean, now almost everyone knows someone personally who had it, I feel, from what I gather. And also a lot of people lost loved ones this year, 2020. And it's been a really dark and up and down year for many people. So 2020 is ending. What are like 3 words you can think of that could wrap up 2020 for you?
Ooh, 3 words. I
Just
love it.
let's
3 words to wrap up 2020.
yeah.
My gosh. I would say that the first word is growth. I've grown so much this year and I'm so thankful because despite like going into 2020 with all these goals, and I think a lot of people had on their minds like I'm going to accomplish this thing, this thing, this thing. And then March happened and like everything went out the window, right?
Out the
And
window in March. Yep.
out the window, yeah. And so I think thinking back to March, like, yeah, there's certain areas where I didn't have the opportunity to grow. And I think a lot of people feel that way. But still, professionally and in relationships, there's been so much growth. And so I'm really appreciative for that. The second word is definitely adventure, going on an adventure, and very fortunate to work
Right.
remotely.
Oh my gosh, can you tell everyone what you were doing? I'm so sorry. I totally did not touch base on this. This is really everyone. Listen to this. What did you
Yeah,
do?
of course. So living in San Francisco, you had a choice, kind of a fork in the road. Do you want to stay in the Bay where it's basically closed, or do you want to do a bit of traveling? And so myself and two best friends, we did a little bit of traveling. We went to different states, New Orleans, Louisiana. I mean, we covered like over 50 cities. It was crazy. Maybe, honestly, might have been more than that. It was just like, it's kind of all a blur now that it's over. But it was an adventure. Living with the same two people, working with the same two people, Tyler and Jose, in the same area. I mean, we're talking 24/7, like nonstop. So that
Gosh.
was it. Love
No
those guys.
fights, no arguments. Everything was peaceful.
Oh yeah, no arguments. Everything was peaceful. Everything went fine. Jose doesn't snore, so yeah. But nonetheless, it was an adventure, and I am so grateful for that experience. I actually kind of prefer that life, honestly, the nomadic life of being on the road. I did a lot of traveling overseas, but never really in the US. So this was a good opportunity to do it. And the weirdest thing is that throughout all the traveling, no COVID. And then I come home to where my family is.
That's right. Oh my gosh.
So
I
the
was
thing
like,
is,
he must have gotten it from traveling. He must have.
no, it's so weird.
That's
I mean,
right. Yeah, because you told me when you were in Arizona, and I was like, oh my gosh, how did this happen? Okay.
Yeah.
And I asked if Tyler and Jose had it too, and they don't.
Nope. So,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I don't know what it is about Arizona. I think Arizona's breaking records for all the wrong reasons right now. But whatever.
I love Arizona. The people of Arizona are great.
Yeah, absolutely. And then so growth, adventure, and then the next piece is the next word is vision. Like, especially reflecting the last few months on what I'm hoping for in 2021. I hope everyone has kind of a vision of what they're looking forward to. What do they want? Where do they want to be? And I would say go out and do it. Go out and take a risk, because what's the worst that could happen? And just pray a lot.
Oh, that's great.
Pray a lot and stay healthy.
Awesome. So growth, adventure, vision, and he slipped in prayer in there.
Oh yeah, prayer.
I'll accept that. I'll accept it. Shane, you're a blessing. Thank you for coming on my podcast and my YouTube channel. You're amazing. Such a great friend. And he's single, ladies. But besides that, if you want to get in touch with Shane, how can people get in touch with you if they want to follow you and follow your adventure that you went on? Can you give any information on that, how to get in touch with you?
Yeah, I would love to talk to anyone who listened to the show today. No, I'm just kidding. Especially if you're single. No. I had to slip that in there. Just like prayer. I slipped it in there. Yeah, please do connect, and would love to set up maybe a virtual coffee if you're interested in talking more about mental health through COVID, or if you have it. I'm totally here to support people. 3 ways. One, you can email me, shane@shaneraymartin.com, or follow me. Probably the best is probably follow me on Instagram at shaneraymartin. And then also you can text me as well, or send me a LinkedIn message. So
awesome. Can they follow your slow burn stories or no?
Slow burn stories, yes, on Instagram, slow burn story.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Shane. I miss you. I love you.
Miss you.
And thanks everyone for listening. I hope everyone felt a little bit more educated about this, that it's a real disease. Wash your hands, wear your mask, social distance. And yeah, have a great day, everyone. Thanks for joining in. Bye, Shane.
Bye, everyone.